Good afternoon, YouTube. It's me, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, people, this is our Muscle Talk 92 with 8 more episodes from 100. I love doing this content, and I am also, if you go to my IG, I am planning on doing a discussion. It'll be tomorrow around in the morning, so I know maybe some of y'all are up early at the time, and we're discussing about a particular what is the look that they want to see when it's bodybuilding. But right now, we're going to talk about, what's the Puerto Rico Pro, aka better known as the Big Mr. Big Man Evolution, happened over the weekend. Now, my partner here, the hand of the Emperor, our historian, Jen. I'm sorry, he's here. Don't mind him. He's going through some stuff, but we'll try to get him right. So anyway, this is a show that's held in Portugal, and it's the only show for Olympia qualification for this year. It used to be 2 shows. You had the Portugal Pro and Europa Championship. And what I found out is that they pushed the Europa Championship to November. So most of the Olympic qualifications for anyone who compete overseas is going to be for, it's going to be in November, which is the end of qualification for the Olympia. So it'll be Olympia qualification for next year. So that's the Europa Championship, the Romanian Muscle Fest, and the Big Man Weekend. So, this is a show where just mostly a lot of European competitors. Except for, I think it was one lady who was there. She's from Brazil, and that was Caroline Santos. And and one lady who I've been in contact with, who won her division, is Barbara Majan. Me and Barbara have been talking back and forth on social media. I'm hoping we get an interview with her now that she get her Olympic qualification, because Barbara had 12 points. The 12 points she earned to taking 4th place at the Olympia, and now she has a qualification. Now with Carolina, and I was telling her that her and Carolina was going to fight for that top spot to get to the Olympia. Carolina, I don't know. I think if they're going to do it like they did last year with the Europa, I think Carolina has automatically got her spot for the Olympia. But that's for, I think, with that situation, that's for women's bodybuilding. I don't know if they're going to do it for women's physique. They might not, because there's, like I said, there's more shows for women's physique. There's I think maybe a few more shows for women's physique over in Europe, but not that many for women's bodybuilding. So, so my partner here, he watched the show, and I want to give his thoughts and his critique on it.
I could tell right away that the I don't really know the names at the top of my head, so I'm gonna just go by like nationality.
Yeah, because it's hard to remember some of those names.
I could tell right away the Croatian one.
Branca Djokovic. No, Djokovic. Yeah, Branca. I've been talking with her also on IG. I sent her some pictures from the show. She liked them, and she's pretty impressive, because originally she started out in bodybuilding, but she switched over to physique later on in her career, and then she did the Romanian Muscle Fest last year, and now this is going to be her second bodybuilding show since switching over from physique.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I originally remember her from women's bodybuilding, but that was back when she was still doing amateurs at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
Way back. That she won that. But no, I could tell right away she was gonna win this. Not really much of a contest. Besides that, who was the other competitor?
The other competitor was a lady she was another Brazilian. Her name is Arsenio Alessandro Ascone. I can't say it now. I was called Miss AB. She competed at the Brazilian show about a couple of weeks ago, and and she was. There was only that show was only 2 wins bodybuilder. Her and another lady. The other lady took first. She took second. That gave her, I think, 4 points, because it's not. I think that show in Brazil was a 4th tier show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she comes this show, and I think the Portugal is either a third tier or fourth tier show.
It's one of those, definitely.
Yeah, so she already gets probably maybe 10, maybe 8 points for this show. And then there's another lady, her name was Claudia Moccaro from Italy. She took third. Now, I was watching the Female Bodybuilding channel. They talked about the Portugal, and I'm surprised they didn't talk about also about the physique part about it. They mentioned it slightly, but they didn't do a video about it. And the lady who took fourth from Spain, a beautiful chocolate Latina by the name of Yacia Garcia Speck, she took fourth. But the debate is she had gotten third place over the Italian chick.
Can't really say on that one. Honestly, prior to going into this, I thought she might have won it, honestly. Because I didn't know the other competitors that well. She seemed to have the best record, but I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewatch to see. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, I didn't focus too much on her, honestly.
Uh, well, I understand, but like I say, from the pictures I saw, because they hadn't, because I didn't watch it because I'm on my budget, and and that's 19 euros. I think it's like 20 some dollars, and I can, I just filled up my tank of gas on
Yeah,
Saturday, so you know, it's sometimes, but I think she looked pretty impressive. I think they compared her to Margie V. Martin. How Margie has good sized quads, the wide back. She kind of looks with her hair and what it is and her complexion. She kind of looks a little Margie-ish, but
yeah,
huh?
yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Something wrong with your headphones? Kind of like you're going in and out.
No, I don't got my headphones with me at the moment.
Oh, that's
Maybe better now.
yeah. But yeah, she is pretty impressive. She originally she earned her pro qualification through bodybuilding, but she competed as physique for a couple of times, and then she made a switch after the Romanian Muscle Fest. She did the big man weekend, just like Branca. This is going to be her second Olympic bodybuilding show since that, and I think she has good physique. She has a good presentation. You know, Branca, I think she has those quality. I think the reason why she won, she had those quality looks that you don't see. I think the judges want to see in field bodybuilding. She had good enough muscle, but she wasn't too large. She was what they call nice, striated. She had good development. I mean, I think she really, she looked pretty good. I mean, she come in there, she was like, just shredded.
Yeah,
And yeah, she was shredded, and she, like I said, this was a good move for her to switch from physique to women's bodybuilding because like I said, this was show one point show is going to be just her and Yacia and the Claudia, but then the other lady from Brazil, she stepped in, and and maybe I don't know if she's gonna go by points or they could do like they did with the Whipple last year when Savamate and Margita Savalova, where Margita won that show and Sava took second, and they gave them both qualifications for the Olympia. And it's a question: are they going to do that?
that'll be interesting to see. Uh, yeah, if they do that or not. The match.
Well, hey, I can barely hear you.
Sorry, if that was the case, then the Brazilian woman would be second place.
Yeah, because if she took second, like they did last year with the Europa show, because this show is the only show in Europe for this year's qualification.
Yeah.
Because the Europa show, which usually be after this show, been pushed back to November, and I think the qualification for the Olympia ends that second week in September, because Atlanta is the last show for women's bodybuilding qualification. And I think for all other shows, because there gonna be more shows for women's physique and all the other divisions because they got a lot more shows. But um, that's gonna be it. So either a lot of ladies who are overseas, have to possibly earn a qualification in the shows for next year's Olympia. And I talked about this how there were some ladies who I felt like they should have done this show, and they possibly could have earned qualification if they came to do the show. Like Irene Anderson, she's 11th on the list, and that means that she's the top three right now is Michelle Jean, Mona Porcellet, and Stephanie Fletcher. Now with Stephanie, the question is she going to be competing? Because he heard that she had a foot injury, and the good chance she's going to miss, most of the season. And also, I heard about this about Mona. A dear friend told me, she dropped this information to me, that Mona moved to Texas. She moved to Texas. So, because I was wondering, why she didn't do the Toronto Pro, because, she lives in Toronto. Remember when she said that because when everything shut down at the pandemic, she had to build her own gym at home because all the gyms were closed.
Yeah. So, is she gonna compete in the U.S. at all, or?
Well, I don't know. With Mona, it's a possibility she might try to repeat at the Toronto. That's a show where she earned her qualification last year. Or she might try to do Chicago. I don't know. She might try to do Atlanta. It's obviously she don't post too much stuff on on social media. I know some ladies who follow her. She mentioned to me, and it's a debate about that. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. So yeah. We just got to see. Maybe do Rising Phoenix or something like that, or your name was on there.
Well, you got to think about Rising Phoenix. Not really. It gives you points, but who's going to win the Rising Phoenix? That's Andrea Shaw. So that's not going to get you into Olympia. It's going to give you points for next year if you do a couple more shows. It's that's the thing about the Rising Phoenix. If you know that if you know Miss Olympia is going to compete in there, you're not going to get qualification by winning that show unless you come into better condition than Andrea, and I think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but you still get points for this year, though.
Yeah, well, actually, that shows I think the Olympia, I think the Rising Phoenix, that's in I believe also I think it's also in I think it's also in let me check out real quick as I pulled up something real quick and I think the Rising Phoenix is also in November. So those points go for next year. So for women's bodybuilding, they have to do a show like Europa Championships and the Romanian Muscle Fest. Now I'm trying to see. I don't think the Big Man Weekend is not on here. I don't think they must have dropped women's bodybuilding for the Big Man Weekend. So that's probably only 2 shows for women's bodybuilding. 3 shows for women's bodybuilding for the end of the year instead of the 4, because the Europa Champion. Europa Championship is the 6th, and the Romanian is the 11th and the 12th and the 13th. Yeah. But did you watch the women in physique, or you just watch women's bodybuilding?
I just watched women's bodybuilding.
You should watch the physique. I know some of the ladies' names are hard, but there's some impressive women over there. Like a lady who I've been in contact with, Miss Barbara Majan from France. Barbara looked great. The pictures I've seen, she's amazing. The woman is almost 50, and she, I told her I was talking with her, on IG. We would DM each other back and forth and said, like, I feel like this is gonna be your show, but you have somebody who's gonna probably be your tough competition. Hello? 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 Hello?
Very specifically a reason. What? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh God, you're going in and out. It must be something messing with your Wi-Fi because
It's on mute.
Jared,
The,
yeah, it might be that the construction work's
can
messing
you
with
hear
your
me now?
Wi-Fi. Yeah, I can hear you now. You gotta speak up. You gotta speak really loud, son. Speak loud, son.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Unfortunately, you have to pay extra to see women's physique.
Oh, extra?
Yeah. They divide
Yeah,
it up.
yeah. I thought the live stream would just be for the whole thing. You mean you have to pay extra for another show? Not like you're buying tickets. It's live stream. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, they divide up the live stream into different.
Yeah. We got my man Ball.
Yeah. My thing is cutting out, but if you can hear me now, they cut it out.
Well, oh wow, we're losing Jerry. He's been, I think, like I say, he's been telling me that he has been.
They cut it up into different.
Wait a minute for a second here. My man's Balls D says, "What up? Salute.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Balls D, for coming through. Salute to you. Drop that like, brother." And yeah, cutting up. So I know. I think they did women's physique first. I think it was earlier because there's a 6 hour difference between us and Portugal. Because I know when by the time I got up and jumped on the computer and checked, see, try to see the schedule, see, if they got the prejudging pictures like that, they already did the finals for women's physique. And then women's open was later on that evening. I think they finished it probably about 2 or 3 our time, which would have been like about 8 or 7 their time. Right here, breaking up, but the big man. Yeah, he, like I say, he's coming to me in the section. Says, yeah, but they divided up 3 parts. Yeah, I saw that part. How they divided up 3 parts for the big man. Yeah, they did divide it up in 3 parts. But the show, it was still a good show from what I saw. I know Barbara asked me, was there any video out yet? And I found a couple of places that had some video. Some video on Facebook. Some posted some videos on their own personal social media pages, like but most of the time, like it's just these shows. Most of the time, you got to wait till certain sites will post them on. I don't know if like someone like NPC News Online. They sometimes they have somebody there and they'll record some videos like behind the scenes stuff and some stuff out the audience and stuff behind the scenes show. But it's all up to And one thing is, they just posted the pictures from the show on NPC News Online, and they're pretty impressive. Now I saw the pictures of Branca. Oh my gosh, Branca has, like I said, she has one of those classic physiques from, like, I would say about the early 2000s, because she really has developed, because it's, again, she started in bodybuilding, then she did physique, and then she made the switch back to bodybuilding, which is probably a good move, because physique is pretty crowded. It's really crowded division because there's a lot more competitors. I think 12 women over in the physique division, only 4 in women's bodybuilding. The thing is, with women's bodybuilding, some women have not ready yet for the season. They're still trying to get things ready for the bigger shows. I just lost my partner. Like you say, he has been having issues coming in and out. Peace out, Jerry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jerry, about the Wi-Fi screwing up. Because, like he said, he told me this before he started. They was doing some work on his house. But I'm going to stay here for a couple of bit and just finish up. Maybe next week, maybe things get better. Maybe, like I told him some advice. I know he works at night. I said, what you might need to do? You might need to, get a motel room for a couple of days, get some rest every now and then. I know it's a little money out of your pocket, but hey, you need all CP get, especially if you're a young man working at night. So anyway, Branca looked pretty good. I mean, she looked impressive. I mean, she had great lines. I mean, just, I think, a great physique. I think, just those qualities that you want to see more in women's bodybuilding. Not too, like, I think, like I said, talk about a debate when I talk about what do the judges want? Do they want the women who are much larger? Do they want the girls who are much leaner? I mean, it is a big debate in the sport of bodybuilding. And and you look at someone like Branca. Look at her. I mean, she's kind of short. And what often I say, like the shorter women, they really pack on some serious muscle, because they're so compact. Look at that. Look at the bicep. Look at her quads. I mean, her quads are bigger than some of the women who are, competing in bodybuilding. And look at the definition. I mean, she has a great physique. And like I said, I've been talking with her on IG. I hope maybe someday I get an interview. She's from Croatia, so I don't know how good her English is. I hope she knows how to speak English because she's been competing in bodybuilding for at least 15 years. And the thing is, if you compete, like in the United States and other countries, and it's good to have the hang of English language. Because I know at one point I was watching some videos where they were giving some women instructions. They were talking in English too. And I remember they mentioned that. Somebody mentioned that. I said maybe they do it for the audience here in the States. Saying probably not, but I don't know. It's just it's up there. So the question is, since it's the only show for women's bodybuilding for Europe for this season for the Olympia, well, is like the other lady took second, does she get automatically qualification for the Olympia? Because they did it last year when they did the Europa. And as you remember last year, who won that show was Anastasia Leonova. Anastasia, if you don't follow social media, Anastasia's not competing this year. Problem is, Anastasia has visa issues. Problem is, it's mostly because of the shit's going on between Ukraine and Russia. And Russia's being punished for the shit they're doing. And it's punishing, and also a lot of sports organizations are punishing the athletes. And any other Russian citizen can't get a visa to go over here. They can't. And the thing is that, the truth of the matter is, I think Anastasia would have been great to see her. Last year she couldn't make it because of visa issues, and she won last year to Portugal. Then this year, she's a Lead Swift ambassador, and there was a big hope of her because she has a great look to her. She's kind of like Branca. She's kind of short, but she's has much more size to her, as you know. And that's why I'm thinking about doing my debate on the whole the question of the size matter is as important compared to conditioning, compared to girls who come in a lot tighter and develop over the girls who are much more massive, But that's the big question. But the Portugal Pro, I mean, like I told Barbara, I felt that it was going to be down between her and Caroline, I think, for that top spot. And she, like I said, Barbara looked great. She looked amazing. And she's very happy that she won because, like I said, she was behind by by 3 points behind Caroline or Carol. She goes by Carol also, Carol Alves, and she pulled it out because this is gonna be her third Olympia appearance. The last two times she placed fourth, and the qualification for the for most of the division except for women's bodybuilding is now top three. Men's bodybuilding is still top five, which is kind of some BS to me, but all the others is top three. So I know I talked to somebody asking me, what's qualification now? Well, it's top three qualifications except for men's open. All the other divisions have to earn their spot. If you take fourth and fifth, you got to earn your spot. And I know it's hard. You have to go do a show, and that's why I was talking about how some people like Julia Furry, who took second at the Puerto Rico, she could have done a show. And Julia, I follow Julia. Also, I saw Asha Hadley. She's been training with Asha Hadley. She's been here in the States since the Puerto Rico, and Julia's an ambassador. The question is like, why is she just come on? She could have done this show because it was just barely a couple of weeks from the Puerto Rico. And this could have showed that Claudia got her qualification. She had got this come in better condition than Branca. Then also, I mentioned that Irene Anderson, she could have done this show also. and she's like I say, Irene has 11 points. She's fourth in the points qualification because Mona and Stephanie tied. Now, if Stephanie's not going to compete, that means she's third. Now, if Stephanie decided to do a show, something like maybe she can decide to do Tampa again, like she did last year, or do Savannah. You know, because she did Chicago and Tampa last year, but because she has issues with a foot injury, I think it'd probably be easier for her. She might, depending on if she can get enough time and get in condition, she might try to do Chicago or possibly Tampa. Tampa's already about in the 1st of August, or she could do Savannah, which is already September. But that's all depending. Well, folks, I'm not gonna be here too long because this show. I didn't see the show. I saw some pictures here and there. All the competitors, the names, the names a little bit foreign. And I don't want to make mistake and chop it up and just don't know how to say the name right. But there were some pretty impressive women. One woman I always set out is Cody Amendi. I think Amendi, who's from I think she's from Sweden, just like Irene. I think she's from Sweden or Switzerland. She last year took 16th at the remaining Muscle Fest in figure. Then she decided to switch over. She did an interview with AJ and JB at Female Body Channel. She said she was going to do a show, may do another show. She got 6th at this show, meaning she did pretty good from 16th to 6th. So the big question is she going to do another show? Because she's already, I think they give her so many points for 6th place. And maybe she might do a show like, I would say do a show like Tampa. Tampa, that's, probably the biggest show that probably gets you more points as long as you can get into the top 3 or top 5. Or she can do a show like maybe do the other 2 shows, which is for next year's qualification, and that is the Europa Championships and the remaining Muscle Fest. I don't know about, like I said, the Big Man Weekend. I think they dropped Female Bodybuilding. I thought they had it, but they might have dropped it. It wasn't like a low show, and there was at least 6 competitors at that show. But I hope they have it. But that could be for those shows. Are going to be for next year's qualification overseas. But more likely, she's young. She's in her mid-20s. She probably might want to do a show here in the States and maybe give them a little more points for qualification. But folks, really appreciate it. Our apologies to our brother Jared, because I know, he's his parents, his family is doing something like that, working construction. His message is Wi-Fi. I hate that this is another. We came in and he got, spent some time with us, but I hate that I know he didn't want to finish this, but I'm hoping maybe later on next week if things get better for him, and maybe we can get him on. As you know, the 15th, I believe, is the Atlanta Pro. It's Linda's first show, the new Atlanta Pro in Atlanta, Georgia. And, it's the first one in the show. Linda does no longer have the North Fork. I wish she kept the North Fork, because Virginia's a little closer I think Virginia's a little closer to me than Georgia. I think it's a little slightly closer. I mean, if you look at the map. And I think, Linda, there's talk that I think Linda should really expand her brand. I mean, wing strength fastener, she can be like Arnold. And how Arnold has all these Arnold classics all over the world. But the problem is, Linda don't have Arnold's money. Now, Jake has a little bit more of Arnold's money, and he probably can do that. I mean, get to Linda Murray shows and like in France, get some in Mexico, have one in Hawaii. I think some ladies would love to compete at Linda Murray show in Hawaii. Good sun, sand. I mean, you love that. But folks, like I said, I do appreciate your time. I hope everything's going good for you. The thing is, if you, like I said, I'm gonna have my Wednesday. I'm gonna have my debate about which is more important, size or condition. It's gonna be on Wednesday, so you want to come check it out. Give your thoughts. Also, any ladies out there who listen and follow my channel, if you're interested in maybe giving your thoughts on it, you can coming on the live stream. Please join, because I would love to hear your thoughts. Because this is your sport, and I want to get your mind of how you feel the criteria should be for women's bodybuilding. Anyway, this man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. This is Muscle Talk Monday episode number 92. We're just a few away from 100, and it's gonna be a party, folks. We get to 100. So appreciate your time. Don't subscribe, share, comment, and support these women in sport of bodybuilding. They do it. They need it, and we appreciate it. All right. Have a great day.